Well, there's something magical about trains. The raw power, the immense size, and the sound of that lonesome whistle far off in the distance. Well, the Nashville Steam Preservation Society is working to breathe some magic back into a steam locomotive that was collecting dust for decades in Centennial Park. Here's Cindy Carter with the story of the old 576.
In the northwest corner of Nashville Centennial Park, silently she stands. Her glory days long gone, but oh how glorious they were, back when she was powerful, purposeful, flashing with fire and smoke.
To see a steam locomotive in action, it's really a sensory experience. It really speaks to the soul.
But Old 576 hasn't been in action for more than 60 years. Instead, she's a photographic backdrop, a playground, haven for birds.
We're going to have to more than likely break this flange, or this union right here, so that we can get the pipe out.
But for these volunteers and countless others, this steam engine remains a source of endless fascination and passion.
Yeah. Hey. When you see it sitting here, you're only getting a fraction of the story. To truly understand how this machine works, it's best to see it in operation.
That's exactly what Joey Bryan and members of the Nashville Steam Preservation Society want, to see this locomotive once again thundering across Tennessee.
Here we go.
These faithful volunteers spend every other weekend repairing and restoring Old 576.
So we formed in 2015 to come into an agreement with the city to lease the locomotive, take it out of the park, keep it in Nashville, restore it so people can come and visit throughout the restoration process, and then turn it into an excursion locomotive so people can have the chance to ride behind a piece of Nashville history.
The Society's ambitious plan begins with a $500,000 fundraising goal, which covers the cost of moving this giant out of the park and over to the Tennessee Central Railway Museum. Then an additional $2 to $3 million is needed to restore the steam engine so it meets current operational standards.
Do we have anything to touch that up?
So they gotta get her ready.
Currently, we are working on the braking system, getting the locomotive's braking system working again, fixing some other appliances on the locomotive, doing some restoration projects on the tender. Basically, just preparing the locomotive to be relocated out of the park.
All right, that sounds good.
It just doesn't feel like work for volunteers like Bill Webster, who drives all the way from West Memphis, Arkansas to lend a hand.
My dad used to bring me to this park when I was very young, and he would sit on a park bench and read the paper, and I'd just be all over this locomotive, playing with the controls and just running around it, looking at all the huge pieces and just really enjoying myself.
A childhood memory shared by many.
I remember coming out here, as many people did, and playing on this as a kid, and just being so fascinated with its size.
It seems Nashville has been fascinated with this steam engine since it first roared to life.
So the locomotive was built in 1942 for the Nashville, Chattanooga, and St. Louis Railway. It was built to haul both passenger and freight trains over the mountains from Nashville to Chattanooga. It arrived just in time for World War II and the mobilization, so it hauled both troop and supply trains to and from Memphis and on down to Atlanta.
But when railroad companies began exchanging steam power for diesel, Old 576 was retired and donated to the people of Nashville in 1953. Out of commission, and yet she still ignited the imaginations of dreamers and artists.
But that train keeps rolling.
Like Johnny Cash, who shared the spotlight with Old 576 for his 1969 Life magazine cover shoot. After decades of just sitting, volunteers say it's time for a comeback.
It's a good fit, isn't it?
Once number 576 is on the move, it will carry up to 450 passengers from Nashville to Cookeville, Monterey, and many points in between. Hopefully by the year 2021, 2022.
And so they work
You need to keep on it just a little bit more.
to free this beloved locomotive from her silent sentence, to once again hear that mournful cry and watch the smoke plumes drifting across the horizon.
It'll definitely be a dream come true for me.
Tears will be shed, I am sure.
I think it's going to blow everybody away with just how cool that we can transform this thing into what it can be.
Thanks, Cindy. By the way, for the past year, the locomotive has been under restoration at the Tennessee Central Railway Museum. And we'll bring you an update once old, or should I say, new 576 takes to the rails again. Well, that's it for